Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmanitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadesatarini Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Gram Krivadamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. We're continuing our discussion on Ishvara Jiva Prakriti Kala Karma. Yesterday we discussed on how Jiva, if he uses his independence, if he misuses his independence, what will be the outcomes? Took the example of Indra, and we have seen how not abiding to the superiors and the authority, how going away from the words of the authority leads to destruction. Actually, there is another beautiful example which is very instrumental, which connects how the jiva has to take shelter. Because jiva is always tempted to take the shelter of the material nature through the time, because jiva is given independence through time only, and through his comfort zone, which is a gift of his previous pious activities. The comfort zone is a gift of the previous pious activities. So through that activity, the jiva is absorbed doing various actions. Same thing happened. Indra's spiritual master Brihaspati would come to him. One second, one second, one second. Someone is knocking. So Indra, through his pious activities, to his actions and endeavor, he receives that position. Through his karmic reactions, he received that exalted position. That is not the position through pure devotion service, dear devotees. So, okay, so he has a position. Just using this example so that we can understand the correlation between jiva and the material nature. So a spiritual master would come. He is so absorbed in his worldly affairs, so busy. So through that absorption, he ignores his spiritual master. Spiritual master would understand and he would leave that place right away. He was not speaking anything. So through that offense, he gets the body of a pig. Through the body of the pig, so much absorbed. Just imagine from one state to other state, all of a sudden. So through that state, so absorbed, so much absorbed in doing the actions and activities He is completely convinced that he is the controller. He forgets his position is an exalted position. Indra, the uh, the king of heavenly planets, completely forgets that. Then he is absorbed in his actions. Even after Narada Muni's intervention, he couldn't understand what's happening there. Now, this is a clear indication where the jiva is being, and the jiva comes from the spiritual world and keeps and then puts here. He's there in this material realm. And then through this material realm, he's engaged in so many actions, so many activities of the worldly activities of this world. Through that activities, he gets results. Through that results, he is convinced that this is the source of my happiness. Just like small living entities who take the shelter of a tree, like squirrels, birds which do not fly higher, like sparrows, they take the shelter of the tree. They always remain in the tree. That is their whole shelter. Their entire life is spent over there. Now, for example, all of a sudden the tree is removed. Where do they go? No shelter, right? All of a sudden they get bewildered. They don't know what to do. Total chaos. Up until that point of time, the jiva was actually happily staying there on the tree, eating the roots or some seeds here, there, whatever, small leaves. Squirrel is happy doing that. But all of a sudden the tree is no longer there. What do? They have to take other shelter. It's a state of bewilderment. Now Indra was also kept in that particular state. Now Narada Muni showed the mirror. You see, Indra, you think that you're this big, but you're not. You have so much responsibilities to do. You cannot stay here forever. You're thinking that your wife or your children, they will protect you. No, they will not protect you. They have to leave. And he shows the mirror. In that mirror, his wife, his children, they're all leaving. And he's also leaving. Then he realizes that, oh, if I'm leaving, then who am I? Then Narada tells, oh, you're not this, you're this. So that's how he would learn and understand. Practically, when a situation comes in our life, then we will understand. There are three ways to understand absolute truth. The relationship between Jiva and Prakriti, the relationship between Jiva, Prakriti, and the Kala, and in connection with Ishvara. There are three ways to understand this. The first way is just by hearing, understanding, coming out of it. First way. One time Srila Prabhupada was been asked, Swamiji, how do I take up this Krishna consciousness very sincerely? How do I really understand? Can I understand this in this lifetime? There are so many details in this. How do I really understand? Then Srila Prabhupada immediately says, in this very moment you can become Krishna conscious. If through your words, through your actions, through your consciousness, everything, if you give to Krishna, that's it. That moment you are completely Krishna conscious. And after that moment, whatever you do, you will get relation. Whatever you do, you will get satisfaction to the heart. You will actually feel yourself. Just like Prabhupada was been asked, how do I understand that I'm Krishna conscious? For example, if you are very hungry and then you go to a devotee home and then he fed you very nice Krishna prasad, won't you feel satisfied? Yes, you're satisfied. You're relaxed. Because up until that point of time, you're so hungry. But all of a sudden, your hunger is removed. How? This is the way. Likewise, if we take the process, if we understand this is all of these things is temporary, we hear, but we don't act on it. Acting through that action, we see results. Just like this beautiful example in Nectar of Instruction, we discussed about this. What was that example? There's a bag of rice which has fallen on the street, and then there are some grains which came out of that bag, rice bag. Animals coming, eating whatever grains is required for them, and then they're going away. For the human being, what he does, what does he has? He has the quality of atyahara. What does he do? He will carry the whole bag and take it to home. No, he's not thinking whose properties are, which is for whom it belongs, it doesn't belong to me. He's not taking it to the root, but rather what is he taking? He's using it to himself. This is called as karma bandhana. That means an action is done, but that action and its result we don't see actually. For example, if you're speaking ill about a person, just casually you just spoke. Casually you just spoke. Oh, this person is not a devotee. Casually you just spoke. Oh, this person doesn't practice. This person is not good. This person is initiated but still is not good. Casually we just speak. Or casually we put some unwanted things on him. We don't know whether he did it or not. Casually we spoke it. You know what happens after that? All the karmic reactions which that person is going through, that we will get. As simple as that. All the karmic reactions which the person has to suffer, that karmic reaction is transferred to us. Now, who is transferring? The Prakriti is transferring. Now, what are we taking? To whose shelter we are taking? We are taking the shelter of Prakriti. The Jiva, what is it? What is the Jiva doing? The Jiva is taking the shelter of Prakriti, just like Indra took the shelter of Prakriti, thinking that he's a pig. He has pig family. He is that. Is actually he's the owner of the pig community now. A lot of pigs. He's taking care of them. When Narad Muni comes, he says, "No, Indra, you have to come." Narad Muni understands every animal's language. So he says, come on, wake up, Baba. You have to leave this place." Then Indra says, "No, no, this is my family. How can I leave this?" So far as this scenario will not come, dear devotees. The spiritual master will not come to us and then say, give up everything and then leave your family and then come to me. Because in Kali Yuga, that is not possible. Because Kali Yuga, that level of surrender is not there. Previous Yugas, that level of surrender is there. Now, I'll give another example of how surrender it is. Sridhar Swami is an exalted Vaishnava Acharya. He has a wife, she's pregnant. And then the wife gave birth to his baby boy, a Vaishnava. He is a Vaishnava. For him, Vaishnava will be born. Pure devotee is born. Sridhar Swami was thinking at that moment, his wife died, the child is born, he's in a village. Uh, he's thinking, what should I do now? Should I leave this or stay here? Should I leave my son and go for 20-25 years and then come back? What should I do? This cannot be imitated in Kali Yuga. Actually, nobody will imitate it. Just telling, this cannot be imitated. So, this Sridhar Swami is actually waiting for the indication of the Lord, the spiritual master, the Chaitya Guru sitting in the heart as Paramatma, is waiting for the indication. What should I do at this moment? But he has a staunch desire to go and practice Krishna consciousness, preach the message of Krishna consciousness. He has a desire, but he's just waiting for the indication. You know what happened at that moment? Sridhar Swami received an indication through a beautiful example on how Jiva and Prakriti they work. There's a lizard, they give birth to a baby lizard. It's on the wall. It's a lizard. In America, we don't see lizards. In India, we see. There's a lizard on the wall, right? And then the basic baby lizard, immediately the baby lizard, it was born. Then after some time, there's an insect. Immediately the baby lizard catched that insect. Then he realized, oh, if Krishna is taking care of me, he'll take care of my son also. Immediately he left that place. Are he's taking care of the lizard. Will he not take care of my son? See the conviction. It's not to imitate, but it is to understand. Just see the arch, just see the heart of the acharyas. They have through this world, they learn so many lessons. Through this world, they see the presence of the Lord. What is happening here? Before example, what we discussed, the jiva is connected to the prakriti. What is happening? What is the result? Destruction. But now the jiva, same jiva, another jiva. But this jiva is giving independence to the Lord through his consciousness, through what is happening. He's not taking the shelter of prakriti, rather is seeing the presence of the Lord in the prakriti. Please understand. It's very important. This jiva, prakriti, ishvara, oh, very beautiful science. So here what is happening, dear devotees, the jiva is actually seeing the presence of ishvara in the prakriti. Om jnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurun minitam mena tasmai shri gurave namah. What do they give? They give that special vision, empowered vision. Just like Arjuna received that special vision. Because until Arjuna received that vision, Arjuna wouldn't see that universal form. Krishna says, no, I will give you special lens now. Wear that lens. Krishna says, okay, tadastu. Then Arjuna receives that special vision. Through that special vision, he's seeing the universal form. Wow, what a universal form is this? He's like bewildered. Arjuna, after seeing that universal form, is completely bewildered. So why Krishna is giving that special vision to Arjuna? And why here Sridhar Swami is actually seeing that special vision? How come through that example, Sridhar Swami could understand everything? Actually, Krishna consciousness is such a beautiful thing. Through one example, we can understand everything actually. We'll get the essence of everything. That's the beauty. That means the Lord, Andantarastu Paramanu Chayantarastam, the Lord is present at every moment, at every place, at every step, in every atom. The Supreme Personality of God is present. Now, how do we perceive? Through the mercy of the Acharyas. So Sridhar Swami perceived that. He understood. If the lizard is being taken care, my son will also be taken care. He immediately left that place. After 25 years, he comes to that community again. That village. The village where he trained those people. He left that village and then he came back after 25 years. You know what happened after 25 years? His son became an exalted Vaishnava and then he's taking care of the community. All the community devotees, they ensured that the child, the child was grown nicely. The child become an exalted Vaishnava Acharya. This is a conviction. Manthara, if she had that conviction that if Lord Rama will protect me, then she would have never used that bad language towards Kaikei. She would have never told that kind of words to Kaikei. She would have never put Dasharatha Maharaj down. She would have never put Rama down. She would have never put Kausalya down. Why? She kept it down. Why? Because this is the reason. What is happening? The Jiva taking the shelter of Prakriti. Please understand here. At any moment, the moment when Jiva takes the shelter of Prakriti, you know what happens? Devastation happens. The devastation might not happen right away, but the devastation happens through the karmic reactions. What is happening? The moment Jiva takes the shelter of Prakriti, what happens? The karmic reactions begins in the background. The karma The karma is fructive, the karma is manifesting. A new karma is created. And for that, they use kala. Kala has been used for that action. So it's a very, very subtle thing actually. We don't see this actually. The more we perceive the subtle things, what happens, dear devotees, our way and seeing this world is totally different actually. Because you'll understand at every step there is Prakriti, at every step there is Krishna. At every step, what am I doing? I will either take shelter of Prakriti. We will not take, we don't put an effort to take shelter of Prakriti. Naturally, anything which we don't do, which we do against Krishna consciousness is taking shelter of Prakriti. That's it. For example, if we are not thinking about the Lord, Mamanusmara, when we are not meditating on His words, on His glories, just we took that example of the tree, right? The moment the tree is devastated, then all the living entities which are dependent on the tree, they don't know up until that point of time they were happy, enjoying their life, but now no shelter. Likewise, up until our death, we can enjoy this world. Yes, we can enjoy through our pious activities. We can enjoy. Why not? Why can't we enjoy? We can enjoy, but that enjoyment will be limited. But the enjoyment will not give satisfaction. Punah punah charvita charvina. Who will get the enjoyment when he's chewing the chew? He'll get little taste, little rasa is there, but that rasa will become basa. That means that relationship will lead to destruction. Just like the moment the tree is cut off, that's it. All the living entities they are, you know, they have no shelter anymore. It is actually when we perceive the truth, dear devotees. For example, if a person goes to the hospital, you know what kind of consciousness is prevailing in the hospital? It is mostly tamoguna with a combination of rajoguna. There's no sattva in it. Because why? What kind of people come there? The people whose health is deteriorated, who are low in their consciousness. The doctors have to take care of them. Uh, it the entire environment is a different place. The vibration is not that great of a vibration. Why? Because it is in the state of rajo and combination of tamo. So what happens is the moment we go there, the moment we perceive that, the moment we are in that particular place, not just an hospital, crematory. Crematory is also that kind of a place. What does that give? That will also keep the jiva in the state of tamo. No, in that particular state, I've seen so many examples personally. What is that example? People at the crematory, they would go and they would tell, yes, this life is really temporary. It is temporary. We are having so many things, but somehow it's not giving satisfaction. We came with so many things, but we don't carry anything. Our this, our that. So many things are there. None of those things we will carry. A lot of people will speak the philosophy, even though they're not Krishna conscious. They will speak this. Even though if we are Krishna conscious, we will speak this. But the moment we came out of that, again material nature will. So actually those words are also through material nature only, dear devotees. Please try to understand. It is not that we have seen the Lord, we have realized the presence, that Jivara Swarupoy Krishna Nityadas, eternally your servant of the servant of the servant. Those words are not coming through that. Those words are merely coming just by seeing a situation. Prakriti has kept a situation. Through that situation, we are perceiving this. Oh, everything is temporary. But the moment we come out of that situation, The moment we are absorbed in our actions, in our realm, in this world, then what happens? Again, we forget that oh, I'm temporary, I have no purpose, everything is in vain. We that's only because there is a situation, there is circumstances, because that is being kept by Prakriti. Please try to understand. Through Kala, we get that understanding. But the same Kala will actually remove that understanding. Please understand. There's so many people, they they miss their loved ones. There's so many people, they miss their loved ones. Through that, what happens is, Hare Krishna, there's so many people who miss their loved ones. Through that, what happens is, for them, they are the only thing. They are the life and soul for them. But you know what? After 1 year and 2 years, the Kala propagated in their life. You know what happened after that? They will forget that person. Kala is that powerful. The jiva who has left the body, that jiva is also thinking. You know what the jiva is thinking. You know what's my wife is thinking now at me about me. Is she missing me? What my children are thinking about me? Are they missing me? The jiva is thinking like this. When after leaving the body, or around the leaving the body, he's thinking like, so how can I leave? How can I leave them? So absorbed in that consciousness only, in that realm, just like a living entity who is dependent on the tree. When the moment the tree is removed, the jiva is thinking, what will happen to me? Where will I go? Because this jiva, the living entity, the purusha, is thinking, what will happen to me? This is taking shelter of the material nature. The taking shelter of the material nature, what it gives is it gives bewilderment. That's why in the hospital, why the consciousness is in Tamo? Because they are all so much absorbed. What's going to happen to me? Everyone is absorbed in that only. The doctor has to tell. The doctor has to tell 100 times, but still the jiva will stay there only. Will not understand because it's so much absorbed the bodily consciousness. This because they're thinking that I should do this. I should do this. See a lot of people putting in front of their home, so and so person's home, so and so person's home. Especially in India, you see. In US, they don't keep like that. In India, you see so and so person name and this. Why do they keep like that? Because they think that it's there. They write also. No, we don't write, but we think that's ours. We might not write it, but we think. But why the jiva is writing like that? Because the jiva is convinced. Convinced about what? Convinced that I am this. This belongs to me. Just like Indra was convinced, these children, they are mine. They are my property. This belongs to me. This dynasty, this is mine. It belongs to me. That's why when Narada Muni comes, he was not understanding. Couldn't understand. Narada Muni had to show the real picture. That's what spiritual master will show. They'll show the real picture. Through the real picture, what happens? We get the clarity and understanding. We get the clarity and understanding. So actually, when we are absorbed in the truth more and more, that actually becomes our life and soul. That is actually greatest mercy of the acharyas. Truth is a solution to everything actually. To everything means all the problems. There's a book called Material Solutions, Material Problems, Spiritual Solutions. Very beautiful. In that it's very clearly indicating many. It's one of my favorite books. In that a beautiful example comes, dear devotees. The jiva who is there in the mother's womb was taking the ashraya of the mother's womb. Up until that point of time, the Jiva with the mother, they have no relation, no connection. But the moment Jiva came, was incepted from father's body to the mother's body, the soul when it was incepted, the soul when it was incepted, then what happened? Then the relationship got established. Okay, Prakriti has given that facility. Through Kala, what is happening? 9 months. Through Kala, what is happening? The Jiva is fructifying. And then eventually after 9 months, what happens? He comes out. But through that 9 month period, was that easy? The easy period? It's the greatest problem actually. Because we are in illusion, we don't understand that it is a problem. Which is what material nature is doing. Jiva is not taking the association of this material nature, but the Jiva is remained in that material in Prakriti's shelter. Through that Prakriti shelter, what is the Prakriti doing? Prakriti is giving trials and tribulations, different problems in the mother's womb only. Just imagine no sunlight for 9 months. Whatever mother eats, the child has to eat that. There itself, he has to do everything. There are insects beating his body. At that moment, there's a prayer which Bhagavatam says the Jiva is profusely praying to the mercy of the Lord. And then the Lord gives mercy. Through that mercy, only few living entities would remember his previous 100 lifetimes. And then he will repent after remembering those 100 lifetimes of all the activity which he has done. And he's profusely crying, my dear Lord, why did I do that? Why did I do this? He's profusely crying out, crying out, crying out continuously. Then through that crying out, he comes out, and then immediately comes out, he forgets everything what he has remembered. Just Bhagavatam says. Again, what happened? That Jiva came under the shelter or under the grip of Prakriti. That is where we are right now, under the grip of Prakriti. By staying under the grip of Prakriti through Kala, and we take right association, where what happens is slowly, slowly, we tend to turn ourselves from Prakriti to Ishvara. That is what we should aspire for. That is what our life should be for. That is the whole purpose for our existence, dear devotees. You have no other purpose. Please understand, this is the only purpose in our life. Karanam guna sangasa satasat janmayamsu. Satasat yoni janmashu. Means through taking association with this Prakriti, what happens is we develop gunas. We are taking association. Through that association, what is happening? We are taking her shelter more and more and more and more. Then what happens? This is actually giving us another body. We don't want to take another body. We want to stop this cycle of birth and death. It's the greatest problem. Going again into another mother's womb. This should be our last life. This is what we should aspire. But for that aspiration, that desire has to be manifested, and then through that desire, actions has to come. That's how we progress. Through that action, you get realizations too. Then through that actions, you get realizations. Through that realization, what happens? Conviction increases. The faith in the process increases. It condenses more and more. This is called as boiling of milk. This is what we need to aspire. We need to see, how this Prakriti is putting me under this grip. How am I tormented? How is it all of a sudden this all of a sudden, what kind of motivation I'm getting to take the association with this Prakriti? Because Prakriti runs through our mind. Prakriti says, don't worry, don't worry. Take my association, take my association. Where are you going? Stay here, stay here. That's what Prabhupada says. You should revolt against Prakriti. Take the shelter of pure devotees. Take the shelter of the Lord. And when we begin taking that shelter, Prakriti will loosen the grip. Unless and until we take that shelter completely, Prakriti will not leave us. Very, very powerful. That is why it has been said, Daivi Heshu Guname Mamo Maya Durate. Mameva Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantide. Problems will come, disturbances will come, deviations will come, depression will come. Why? We should understand the root of them. Because we do not have a deep, deep, deep relationship with the Lord through the acharyas, through the spiritual master. That is the reason we are getting these problems. All the reasons for all the problems is we do not understand who our spiritual master is. We do not understand who our acharyas are. If we understand that, all the problems are taken care of. Tomorrow is the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada. Wow, such a beautiful day, auspicious day. He showed us how to live this material world. He showed us how to lead in this material world, how to lead one's life, and how to live this life. How to lead, how to live. We'll discuss about this tomorrow. For such an exalted personality who gave everything, who gave all the concepts. Because I always think about this. Are we cannot understand anything in Gita. If Srila Prabhupada and his pure followers are not there in our life, we cannot understand anything in Gita. There are millions of people who are reading Bhagavad Gita, but they couldn't understand anything. They couldn't get the gist. They couldn't get the essence. Only a pure soul will give the essence. Just like Indra was shattered in the life of pig. Only Narada Muni came into his life and then gave the clarity. Through that clarity, he moved. He marched to his next destination. This is devotion, dear devotees. Just we need to aspire more and more. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Anyone has any comments, any questions? It's a very beautiful correlation. Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, how they all work. We should know, we should learn more. We'll continue this discussion more and more because this is so important to understand. Since 4 5 days we are discussing about this. This is a very important subject matter. We need to understand, we need to apply. We need to always see how am I with to whose shelter I am. It's very easy. We have only two shelter, either Lord or Prakriti. Which shelter we are taking? If the anarthas are pulling us away, we need to understand Prakriti is tormenting me. Should be very careful. And carefully try to avoid it, try to come out of that. The more you think about this, the more you'll understand. Then the more you want to chant, the more you want to take association. Even the chanting should be quality, pure, pure. Try to hear. We're discussing. We were discussing about this. We need to hear, dear devotees, hear the names. Harinama, Harinama. We need to tell through our mouth and then we need to hear through our ears. With feeling, with bhava, with we should do it. We should pray, my dear Lord, I might have offenses. I might have kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mala, matsara. I can't remove that. I'm not there to remove that. But I can do one thing. This is what my spiritual master told. What I can do, I can chant simply for your pleasure. And then I want to hear. Chant and hear. Chant and hear. Just we need to ask. We need to tell our mind. Ask no mind. Hear the Harinama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is our weapon against the Prakriti. This is our weapon to develop a relationship with the Lord. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone would like to add anything? Would like to share?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
I know it's already time, but quickly I would like to share my realization. Thank you so very much for beautifully explaining the correlation between the jiva and the prakriti, and how to realize that the jiva, my soul, is in whether in prakriti whether attached to Prakriti or Paramatma. So always have to check, not just in the good times, but in the bad times also. Um, when we cannot control the situation, whether it's good or bad, but how do we respond to that situation is what very, very important. And that can be done only if I consciously check my consciousness. So thank you, Prabhuji. And then while checking, I have to check whether I'm trying to connect to Paramatma or the Prakriti. And if I am connecting to Prakriti, then as you said, tell the mind, no, no, you're getting attached to Prakriti. Go take shelter of Krishna. And definitely after that, realizations for sure will come. And even more beautiful chanting would be done at that time rather than normal when we try to ignore. I just want to share, Prabhuji. Please correct. Thank you so very much.
Anyone else would like to add anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then Namal Krishna Prabhupada.
Subal Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Please,
Krishna
please.
Prabhuji. Thank
Nice
you
to
so much,
hear.
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Wonderful. Katha, especially you said about the Jiva and how reacts to the various things of the nature. So we have to focus more on chanting, as you mentioned, and once we hear this, Prabhuji, we at least on that day, morning, it's very nice. We can follow. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone else? Please try to please try to think about this more and more. If possible, try to hear today's conversation again, if you have the time permits. Yesterday, it's a very important conversation. And today too, how the jiva is so tormented, which we are. We are tormented in this material world actually. So many bombardments, so many obstructions. Uh, Please try to hear and try to understand, because these are all practical scenario situations in our life. All the discussion which we are doing is they're all practical examples. So that way it gets more and more connected to us. Please try to absorb in this, and then try to think, contemplate on this truth more and more. Just like you think, because you're all very intelligent people. It's like you think about your projects at your office. When you are free, think about these things. It's important. When you begin thinking about this is what is pleasing the Lord very much. Because what are we trying to do is, we are trying to learn a principle, and we are trying to think about that, and we are trying to apply that truth. How the jiva is connected, how the jiva is bewildered, how Prakriti will shatter our consciousness, how she will remove away from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how she will show our, our superiors or spiritual masters like normal people. Because that's how it will actually disturb our consciousness. That is an illusory state actually. But the more we think about that, the more we understand this is just a game, dear devotees. Prakriti is making a game. She's making a fool out of us. She made us fool millions of lifetimes. She wanted to make us fool now also. So we should put a forceful war against her. For that, we need to hear very attentively and try to apply. And you'll see a lot of changes. Then the process will become a joyful process to you. Naturally, the moment you get up, you will offer prayers to the spiritual master, prayers to the Lord, and then begin the day. And then chant Hare Krishna. Oh, you'll be very excited to chant. Every day is an excitement. Actually, who says once in a while there is a festival? Every day is a festival for us. Krishna consciousness is everyday festival. Who says today is Friday? I think it's Friday in US. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's Friday. Yeah. Friday. Friday is excitement, right? Saturday and Sunday is holiday. But every day for us is excitement. Because every day we will release the process. Because that's the experience which our acharyas are giving us. This comes through acceptance. Varana. Smarana, Varana. When there are any doubts through Smarana, you should inquire. Why? Because the Varana has to condensify. The Varana has to go deep. When the Varana goes deep, Smarana comes. Krishna Smarana, Acharya Smarana, Acharya Pasana. Tomorrow is the day. Think about Srila Prabhupada. Think about his selfless services. Think about his life. He gave everything for us. Try to contemplate on these things. Use this time. When we use this time in this way, dear devotees, what happens is, are your time, you'll be kept out of this time bound. That is the mercy Lord wanted to give us. ఆ బ్రహ్మ భువనాలోక పునరావర్తి అంటుంది అర్జున మాముపేతే పునర్జన్మ విద్యతే మాముపేతే తు కౌంతే పునర్జన్మ విద్యతే మాముపేతే తు కౌంతే దుఃఖాలయం అశాశ్వతం నాప్నువంతి మహాత్మాన సంసిద్ధిం పరమం గతః. The Lord will remove from this dukhalaya and he'll keep in samsiddhim paramam gataha. He'll take the jiva to his abode. Why? Because jiva doesn't want anything else other than attachment to the Lord, to the Ishvara. It is the desire of the jiva. And the spiritual master, they come in our life and they establish that relationship. That is their service. So this, the more we need to contemplate. We should become free from this materialistic propaganda, materialistic business, materialistic dealings, materialistic desires, materialistic thought process. The moment we are thinking about the way to understand we will Prakriti. You should write a chart on the board, put a board. Jiva, we should put our photo there. Prakriti should put Durga Dev photo. Ishvara, Krishna picture. And we need to do this, we need to establish that correlation. And we need to see how many times in a day I'm taking the association of Prakriti. And how many times in the day I'm taking association of Ishvara. Think about that. Contemplate. We should be a devotee. We should spend some time for ourselves. Please understand. Let's spend some quality time to ourselves. Very, very important. Because through that only Varana and Smarana will come. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you all very much. We'll stop here. Continue our discussion tomorrow. Thank you. I think I went little over. Please excuse me. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Hare